How did you go from Athens to Hollywood? What was your journey?
So I went to college. I did get on the Lampoon, which is this.
What college did you go to?
I went to Harvard.
Harvard. Yes, folks, you can go to Harvard if you're a Wildcat.
And a lot of people from that magazine became television writers afterwards. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't know them because they were all older than me, but people went on to Saturday Night Live and Dave Letterman and moved out to LA. But but I didn't know that would ever work for me. And my parents paid for me to go to college, and I really, felt an obligation to do right by my parents who, moved to America for this,
Right.
wanted me to have a good life. So I studied computer science. I thought I would go be a programmer. I graduated college in 2003. It was kind of like I went and interviewed at Microsoft thinking I would do something like that, or went to Amazon. But I also knew I wanted to try to be a TV writer. And there was so I thought okay, I should try and live in New York or Los Angeles because that's where the business seems to be from what I can tell. So I can go there and be around other people who did this. And there weren't a lot of computer companies there, but there was a company called, you could do business work. So I thought oh, maybe I could become a consultant. And I don't know what that means in that. I still don't really know what consultants do, even though I did a consultant. But I worked for this company called...
If you ever figure that out, please tell me. Because I still don't know what a consultant is.
Which kind of was a good thing to do if you don't know what you're going to do with your life. So, and I thought okay, there was a company called Boston Consulting Group. I went there, I worked there for a year and a half, and I could kind of learn about business, and you really get to work in a lot of different industries. So, it was a kind of an interesting place to just see what kind of jobs were out there in the world. And I was also in LA, and I thought, if I don't make it as a writer, I guess I can go to business school, or I can go back and become a programmer. And I remember when I didn't have, the way it works there is sometimes you're on a project, and when you're on that project, you go and work at the client side, and you live there, and you live in a motel or a hotel, and
right.
when you don't, you try and help sell projects, and you might not have that much work to do. And when I was doing that, I would write what was called spec script, which would be if there was a show that you loved, and I think I loved Curb Your Enthusiasm at that time.
Oh yeah.
So I wrote an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I showed it to some friends of mine. I had a friend who was a little bit older than me who was a writer on The Simpsons, and he read it and he said this isn't very good. But he was he knew me and we were friends, and he knew my take, and he was able to give me constructive criticism in a way that basically didn't hurt my feelings because we had a lot of trust between us. And